Okay guys, so Pythagoras' theorem, what we're looking at here is the Pythagorean Triad. Let's have a read a bit at the top so we can get a little bit of context. It says Pythagoras was a Greek philosopher and mathematician. It was widely known that the 3-4-5 triangle was right-angled, but Pythagoras is credited with forming and proving the theorem. In any right-angled triangle, the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. The hypotenuse is the longest side of the right-angled triangle and is opposite to the right angle. So, in any right-angled triangle, the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. What does that mean? Have a look at that triangle diagram on the top of the page. What we're trying to say is side A squared plus side B squared should equal side C squared in a right-angled triangle. Now, this is only relevant for right-angled triangles. When we talk about the hypotenuse, as it notes there, it's the longest side of the right-angled triangle and is opposite to it. We're trying to say A squared, the side A squared, plus the side B squared should equal the side C squared. What we're going to do is we're going to generate Pythagorean triads, or the series of numbers that work with Pythagoras' theory. Any three whole numbers that satisfy Pythagoras' theorem form a Pythagorean triad or a Pythagorean triple. Now, note how it says they're whole numbers. We can't have decimal places, they have to be whole numbers. We're going to use a spreadsheet to develop the different varieties of numbers that can be used to form a Pythagorean triad. So we've opened a new sheet, we've gone on to question 4, we've changed it, to question 4 here, and we're going to do exactly as it says. It says open a new spreadsheet, write the numbers 1 to 15 in column A. We know a quick way to write this. We can go 1, as we learnt before, cell A, plus 1. Okay, we won't waste our time. And it's told us to fill down to row 15, which we will. So we have the numbers 1 to 15 in column A. Then it says we need to write in A, B, C. Then we need to do A, shift 6 to get that little hat symbol, 2, which represents A squared, plus B squared. And then in column F we're writing C squared. So we've got 3 columns. I'll make that bold as well. A, B, C, A squared plus B squared, and then column F, C squared. I know that hat looks funny. All it represents is a square. Or if you want to think about it, to the power of, which is what a square is. So, to the power of 2 or squared is what that little hat will let you to the power of. In this case, we've done it 2, so we're squaring the number. So, question B says, in B2, write the formula A2 squared minus A1 squared. What we are doing here, guys, we are simply generating side lengths, okay? If you're asked to do this in the test, you will be given the formula. The main skill that you need to learn from this is recognizing different operations. So recognizing that little asterisk is a multiplier, recognizing the little hat is a to the power of. You will be given these things in the test. If it's asking you to do something, you'll be told, do it to the square root of whatever, or square the number. You need to recognize that that hat is a square root, okay? All we're doing at the moment is simply generating side lengths. So to do that, we go equals A1 squared, A2 squared. I apologize, I didn't read that correctly. A2 squared minus, or subtract A1 squared. And we've popped that in there, and that's 3. Okay, so to work out that, if you really are interested, side A in a Pythagorean triad or in a Pythagorean triple is always going to be an uneven number. In order to generate an uneven number, subtracting the squares of any 2 consecutive numbers will get it. You don't have to understand that. Just if you're interested though, that's what we were doing there. We were working out the squares, the square root of any 2 consecutive numbers and subtracting them. That will always generate you an uneven number. So now we need to generate side B, and we're told here in cell C2, write the formula 2 multiplied. Whoa, I've done a mistake there. Hopefully some of you picked it up. Equals. Whenever we're going to perform an operation, we have to put an equal sign in. 2, multiply A1 multiplied by A2. Ooh, okay, this is good. I've hit the wrong cell here, guys. 2 ways to sort this out. We can either hit escape, which will get rid of our whole entire formula, or we could have done A1 multiplied, and I've hit the wrong cell here. We can simply go up here the top and manually put in the right cell. So I actually wanted A2. I can manually type in A2. There was 2 options in order to fix that. Let me just go fix up that formula. 2 multiplied. Okay, so I made 2 little mistakes there. So we're going 2 multiply A1 multiplied by A2. Again, we're just trying to generate a side length. If you're asked to do this in the exam, you will be given the formula. So we've got 4. Now for C, again we're told in D2 write the formula. Equals A1 squared plus, making sure you're holding down the shift key to get the operators that are on the top of your keys. A1 squared plus A2 squared. Okay, so we've been given that formula, A1 squared plus A2 squared, and we've hit enter. So, as you can tell there, we were expecting a 3, 4, 5 triangle because that's the first thing we discussed. That's the most basic of the Pythagorean triads. Again, we're doing cell references here, guys. We're not hard coding values, so we can use that lovely fill command. It'll be called a fill command or a drop down command. Make sure my arrow, I've got the little black cross, dropping it down. Okay, these are all the different side lengths that we're generating here. Dropping it down. Side C, this is an equivalent side length. This is where we are, this is what you need to understand. We said up there in that formula, A squared plus B squared should equal C squared. We've generated all the side lengths here. Now we need to prove that formula. So, side A squared plus side B squared. Side A squared is in column B, so we go A squared plus side B is in column C, so we go C squared. So those cell references are B2 and C2, and we've squared both of those numbers. That's what we said we're going to do in the heading, and that's what we've done in the cell. Again, because we're using cell references, drop and drag and fill our commands down. Now we've said that A squared plus B squared should be equaling C squared. So what we're expecting to see in this column here is the exact same numbers that are in column E. Equals. Column D has our C length sides. Squared. That's C squared. Excellent. We've gone well on the first one. That's the number we're expecting. When I fill this column all down using the fill command, I should be expecting to see the exact same numbers that are in column E. And I am, which means that we've done everything correctly, because A squared plus B squared in Pythagoras' theorem equals C squared. So, you can tell that if you go through and have a look at question 6, I've just gone through and kind of gone through it quite easily for you. Main things, guys, that you need to be able to understand from this. Cell references. Understand what I was doing here. Okay, if you don't understand the nitty-gritty of the numbers being generated here, that's fine. You don't need to. You just need to be able to recognize and translate the formula from the paper onto here. You need to be able to understand these operations. So understand that this little hat symbol is a square root. Okay? If you're told to find the square root of column A, understanding that you're going to have to use this symbol. Understanding the fill down command and understanding cell references. That's what you need to be able to do. And that's it, guys. That's how you do it. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy for you to ask me in class. So, it's said at the bottom though, there, take particular note. It says the spreadsheet is to be formatted. Number sentence, headings in bold, table outlined, and column divisions. So, taking note of those formatting things, you will need to have the numbers centered. How we do this is we select all the numbers, pop them in the center, okay? Our headings are in bold. Selecting them, making them bold as I have done already. If you need the table outlined, simply a matter of selecting all of the cells, Going up here, hitting outside borders. My table's outlined. Pretty straightforward. Making sure you're going back and doing that for the other things. So question 3, which was area and perimeter. Again, they wanted the table needs to be formed with column divisions. Information needs to be centered. Now, I have 100 rows here, guys. I can either start and select everything. Let me show you a quick way. If you hover over the horizontal column here, so the columns, see how I've got this funny black arrow pointing down? When I'm on the cell, it's a white cross. When I'm on here, it's a black arrow. Click and hold and select all the columns. Okay, now I've got all columns selected in my spreadsheet, all of column A, B, C, and D. Again, we can center them really simply, going over here, changing them to center. The headings need to be in bold and underlined, like I've done just there. Again, making sure we're going back, and they didn't say anything about formatting in question 1 and question 2, so that's fine. So you've got the information setting centered. Now, if you want column divisions, okay, quick way to put in column divisions is, again, selecting all of our rows here. We can be saying all borders. So we've divided our columns so they're all really clear. Question 4, again, I'm pretty sure they wanted column divisions. So let's jump in here, all borders. We've done, oh, actually we can just divide the columns. How would I do that? Inside borders. Oh, no, we want inside vertical borders. There we go. So those options just there, you want inside vertical border. You guys can pretty much tell from those borders which one will be most appropriate. I mean, if you wanted inside horizontal borders, you could do like that again, but we just want the vertical one. So we've just divided the column. Headings are in bold, making sure you're paying attention to all those formatting rules.